Welcome to another episode of Doing Iffy Business's podcast talk show, where we discuss and critique business behaviors and practices that you, our listeners, have asked us about, brought to you by WeTeach.Stream. Okay, let's unpack this. Today, we're diving into a topic that, well, it's constantly making headlines, sparking some really intense debate: diversity, equity, and inclusion, DEI.
Yeah, DEI. It's everywhere.
Exactly. And for many of you listening, maybe you're running a small or medium-sized business, an SME. It's probably a concept you've encountered, perhaps even tried to implement.
Or found it maybe a bit confusing.
Or challenging.
That's what we're hearing. So our mission today is really to cut through some of that noise. We've got a stack of sources, everything from, academic discussions on Reddit, believe it or not, to Forbes articles, legal analyses.
A real mix.
A real mix. And we're going to explore what DEI truly means, why it's championed by so many, but also why it gets fiercely criticized.
And crucially, the practical side. What tangible steps can you actually take, especially in an SME context? Right. We want to help you navigate this complex landscape. Get ready for some, hopefully, surprising facts, some insights designed to help you, our listener, become well-informed. Maybe even find an aha moment or two for your own organization.
Particularly thinking about those SME challenges and, opportunities.
So here's where it gets really interesting. When we talk about DEI, for a lot of people, it feels like, well, a moral call to action. It's just the right thing to do, isn't it? Building a fairer world.
That moral dimension is definitely strong.
But then, for businesses, and especially SMEs with, let's face it, often limited resources, tight margins, the practical question hits hard. What's the actual tangible benefit?
Does it really help the bottom line? Or is it just another thing to worry about, another compliance box to tick?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Before we even get to the numbers, though, it's important to understand that moral grounding. Why does it resonate so deeply? Our sources really emphasize this. DEI is rooted in, fundamentally, a duty to make sure everyone, faculty, staff, students, employees, whoever, is treated equitably.
Meaning,
you're not judged or stereotyped based on gender, race, religion, ethnicity, disability, veteran status. The list goes on. It's about basic human dignity.
fostering fairness, equal opportunity.
Exactly. And actively combating discrimination, not just the obvious stuff, but systemic bias, too.
Yeah.
Ultimately, it's about showing ethical leadership in your workplace and your community.
That moral grounding is powerful, compelling. But back to that SME reality check. Resources are stretched thin. Does doing the right thing actually pay off in business terms? What do the numbers say?
Well, the connection is honestly remarkably strong. The data we looked at is pretty consistent. Study after study shows that diverse groups and organizations, they significantly outperform homogenous ones on various metrics.
They're not just a feeling, but actual performance.
Right. And what's fascinating here, especially for SMEs, is how these two things, the moral imperative and the business case, they often intertwine. They strengthen each other.
How so?
Think about it. Genuine ethical leadership in DEI, it isn't just an expense or some nice to have. Increasingly, it's becoming this sort of invisible force. It attracts top talent, boosts innovation, strengthens your brand.
Okay, I see. So the moral stance becomes a competitive edge.
Precisely. It transforms the moral imperative into a competitive differentiator that directly impacts your bottom line. It's not just doing the right thing anymore. It's realizing that the right thing has become the smart thing for sustainable success.
Okay, the smart thing. Let's dig into those numbers then, because feelings are one thing, data is another. Our sources cited some pretty compelling stats.
They did.
Like organizations that genuinely prioritize diversity tend to have a 6.8% higher average stock price? That's significant.
6.8%. That's not trivial.
Not at all. And employee engagement, the impact seems even bigger there. Employees who strongly feel their organization values diversity, they're 84% more engaged.
84%.
Yeah.
Compared to those who don't feel that way.
Think about that. Nearly double the engagement. And the flip side, if people feel undervalued, marginalized, they're 3.3 times more likely to leave within a year.
Wow. 3.3 times. For an SME, losing key people like that,
Yeah.
the cost is huge. recruitment, training, lost knowledge.
Exactly. And this isn't some niche idea. A big survey, over 300 execs, found 82% say diversity is essential to their business strategy.
82%. So it's mainstream thinking now.
And not just giant corporations. Many of these execs, they represent businesses of all sizes. They understand that a diverse team is just better equipped. They understand customers better, develop products with broader appeal.
It really suggests that, yeah, doing the right thing is inextricably linked to doing the smart thing. Success. DEI isn't just an add-on anymore.
It's strategic.
It's a critical aspect of modern business strategy. It contributes directly to resilience, market responsiveness, profitability in the long run. And for an SME, this means even small, thoughtful steps in DEI can yield significant returns. A more engaged, innovative, loyal workforce.
Okay, so the potential upside is clear. Strong moral case, strong business case. But it's not always that simple in practice, is it?
Definitely not. The implementation. That's where things can get tricky.
What did our sources say about that? Because the picture seems really mixed. Some genuinely positive outcomes, stronger teams, but also frustrating, even counterproductive stuff.
Absolutely. It's far from one size fits all. We saw examples of positive implementations, sometimes really simple, informal things, having a huge impact.
Like what?
Well, one instance described a white manager seeing all the rising anti-Asian sentiment out there, proactively asking his Asian colleagues, how are you feeling about this?
Just asking the question.
Just opening that door. And it led to, quote, deeply moving conversations. It fostered understanding, a sense of psychological safety. That kind of dialogue builds a healthier work environment. And for an SME, that's gold for attracting and keeping talent.
Yeah, that trust factor is huge.
Huge. And then there's Silicon Valley. Our sources mention companies there with extremely diverse workforces, lots of non-white Asian representation, often seen as thriving purely on merit.
So organic diversity leading to success.
Leading to global success, innovation. It suggests that when talent is the main driver, diversity often follows, and it works. And just generally, the research backs it up. Diverse teams are consistently more innovative, more ideas, more creativity. Big plus for an SME needing to stand out.
Okay, that sounds really promising. But let's flip the coin. What about the downsides? The criticisms? We heard terms like DEI washing, red tape.
Right, the performative stuff.
Yeah.
Going through the motions without real commitment, like those mindless computer-based trainings.
Ugh, yes. The ones everyone clicks through.
Exactly. Ticks a box, but does it actually change anything? Address underlying issues? Probably not.
And that hiring manager example was striking. Renting a huge conference center twice a year with expensive consultants.
Consultants who had ties to upper management.
Right, making hiring harder, slower, and they ended up missing out on strong candidates because of it. Imagine that cost for an SME.
It's prohibitive.
Yeah.
And the criticisms go deeper than just bad training. Concerns about things like diversity statements in hiring.
Especially in academia, right?
Yeah, being criticized as litmus tests, potentially forcing people to parrot certain views rather than encouraging genuine diversity of thought.
Which leads to those accusations we found, that DEI becomes code for more Black and brown people, less white and Asian people.
Or that it means replacing qualified people with less qualified minorities. Undermining meritocracy, that's a core criticism.
And then there were the more serious issues, the horror stories, policies being weaponized.
Yeah, Title IX, for example. A law meant to prevent sex discrimination. But sources claim it's sometimes been twisted, used against vulnerable groups, or just anyone, becoming an institutional excuse to discriminate through rigid or biased application.
That's concerning. And in journalism, diversity being ornamental.
Ornamental in practice was the phrase, putting racialized, minoritized faces on the website, but not actually changing the power structures.
Which leads to that double bind for underrepresented journalists.
Yeah, feeling showcased but not truly valued, contributing to an exodus of Black and racialized journalists. They leave because they don't feel heard.
So it really raises that question. If DEI is so beneficial in theory, why does it go wrong so often in practice?
It really highlights that gap, the gap between good intentions, the policy on paper, and effective, impactful execution on the ground.
And for SMEs, the challenge isn't just doing DEI, it's doing it thoughtfully, authentically.
Exactly, to avoid those pitfalls and actually get the benefits.
But it's not just about implementation challenges, is it? There's also this pushback, a significant coordinated opposition, what our sources called an anti-DEI crusade.
Yeah, that's a whole other layer of complexity. A powerful movement with specific beliefs, specific strategies. You can't really understand the DEI landscape without understanding its critics.
So what are the core beliefs driving this anti-DEI movement, according to our sources?
Well, a primary one, maybe the most common, is that DEI is fundamentally anti-meritocratic.
Okay, explain that.
The argument is that it leads to selecting less qualified people over more qualified ones, simply based on race or identity, not skill or experience.
So back to that code for more black and brown people, less white and Asian people idea.
Right. And the related argument that it inherently discriminates against certain groups, white, Asian, Jewish, male individuals, by focusing efforts on others, it's seen as creating an unfair playing field.
So it's a fundamental disagreement about fairness and opportunity.
It really is. And beyond meritocracy, DEI is often framed politically, equated with leftist politics, or even terms like cultural Marxism, a term critics use for progressive ideas they feel undermine traditional values, or they see it as a leftist social justice revolution clashing with core national principles like individualism.
And the divisiveness argument.
That's another big one. Opponents argue DEI efforts inherently divide people, create antagonism, discomfort. Some even claim it causes more racism by explicitly naming things like white supremacy instead of focusing on unity.
And effectiveness. Do they think it even works?
Many believe it's largely lip service, or even a money-making racket for people with connections. Billions spent, they argue, with little tangible positive impact.
And this isn't just talk, right? There are concrete actions happening based on these beliefs.
Absolutely. Real policy implications, like in Texas, where coordinated campaigns led to legislation banning DEI programs in public universities.
Wow. Banning them outright.
Yes. And we saw a U.S. president issue executive orders trying to shut down DEI across the federal government, private sector too, calling them wasteful and radical.
And companies are reacting, that win in Rome approach.
Some are, yeah, scaling back public DEI efforts, especially in more conservative areas, due to political pressure. But our sources warn that comes with risks too. Legal risks, losing diverse talent.
It's a tightrope.
It really is. And some private communications revealed in the sources showed pretty extreme views behind the scenes among some activists, things supporting patriarchy, criticizing working women. It shows the depth of the ideological opposition for some.
So connecting this backlash isn't just about tweaking programs, it's a deeper battle.
It's a battle over fundamental values.
Yeah.
What does fairness mean? What does meritocracy mean?
Yeah.
And it shows the significant external pressures that businesses, including SMEs, are facing when they try to navigate DEI.
Which makes it even harder. So, okay, let's bring it back to the SME leader listening to this. You're hearing the moral case, the business case, the implementation pitfalls, the political backlash. It's a lot.
It is complex.
So how do you navigate this? How do you communicate your commitment to inclusion without getting caught in the crossfire? How do you focus on what actually helps your team, your business? What can you actually do?
And crucially, how do you know if it's working? How do you measure the impact?
Right, measurement. How do you measure ROI on DEI, especially things like training?
It's essential, especially for SMEs, to move beyond just ticking boxes. Show real impact. Our sources highlight several ways. First, culture surveys and focus groups.
Okay.
Do them before and after any DEI initiative. Measure changes in how employees feel, their perceptions, if they understand the concepts better, if they feel they can apply them. Direct feedback.
Get a baseline, see the change. Makes sense.
Exactly. Second, use DEI training assessments. Compare confidence, abilities, knowledge before and after. If you see positive shifts, that shows increased awareness, commitment. That's step one.
Okay, tracking the learning itself.
Third, track innovation metrics. Number of new products, services, participation in innovation projects. Compare that to the diversity data of your teams. If diverse teams are more innovative and your DEI is working, you should see it there.
Yeah, linking it directly to a business outcome. Clever. What about tech, AI?
AI can help, yes, but cautiously. It can track metrics like retention across demographics, participation rates, pay equity, feed that into dashboards. But you have to check the AI for bias regularly, and data privacy is paramount. AI can accidentally bake in existing biases if you're not careful.
Right, garbage in, garbage out, potentially amplified.
Potentially. And finally, the basics. Consistently monitor employee representation, especially in leadership. See where the gaps are, adjust hiring, promotion strategies to address underrepresentation. Not quotas, but identifying missed opportunities, broadening talent pipelines.
Okay, those are solid measurement tools, but what about the hurdles? Getting started, making it stick? We hear SMEs say it's not prioritized, or we don't have a strategy, or just we don't have the resources.
Very common challenges. But there are paths forward. If DEI isn't prioritized, The solution is integration. Weave it into your company's core values, its mission.
Make it part of the DNA.
Exactly. For an SME, maybe that means updating the mission statement, adding equitable collaboration as a core value reviewed in performance appraisals. When leaders embed it, employees see it's essential, not optional.
Okay. And if there's no clear, measurable strategy?
Use goal-setting frameworks, OKRs, objectives, and key results. Objective, increase diverse representation in leadership. Key result, achieve 20% increase in women in management by Q4. Or improve inclusion sentiment score by 15% in the next survey. It creates focus, accountability.
Tracks progress. Good. Resources. The perennial SME challenge.
Make the business case. Use the data we talked about. Show management how diversity directly benefits the organization. And recruit internal allies. Share the load. Build support across departments. Make it a collective effort.
Don't try to do it all alone. Smart. What about blind spots? Making sure efforts aren't just reinforcing old ways.
Continuous engagement. Talk to employees from varied backgrounds. Informal feedback, maybe small employee resource groups, even anonymous suggestions. Broaden your understanding. Make sure your efforts actually reflect their needs and experiences. Makes it way more relevant.
And that feeling of, it's important but not urgent.
Reframe it. DEI is urgent for business well-being. It prevents crises, PR issues, talent leaving. It improves retention, engagement, performance now. It's not a nice-to-have for later.
Got it. And lack of responsibility. Who owns this?
Designate someone, a dedicated DEI leader, even if it's someone adding it to their existing role in an SME. Clear accountability stops the bystander effect. Ensure things actually move forward.
And leadership challenges generally.
Customize. Tailor the strategy to your specific organization. Whether you appoint someone internal or bring in an external expert for guidance, a one-size-fits-all plan rarely works as well as something tailored.
So ultimately for you, our SME listener, it sounds like it's about building resilience, adaptability, moving DEI from a checklist
To an ongoing capability.
Yeah.
Something embedded in how you operate, driving value, driving innovation for the long haul. A continuous journey.
Right, a journey, not a destination. Which leads to a final thought for everyone listening. As you think about bringing DEI into your business or refining what you already do, ask yourself this maybe provocative question.
What are we actually including people into?
Yeah. Are we just inviting them into a burning house, a structure built on old foundations that still inherently favor certain groups, creating friction? Or are we actively rebuilding, constantly improving, creating a space that's genuinely equitable, psychologically safe, truly innovative?
A place where everyone, really everyone, feels they can bring their absolute best.
And where your business can truly thrive because of that diversity, not in spite of it. Something to think about. Well, we hope you enjoyed another one of our episodes. And don't forget to like, share, and especially subscribe to our channel for early hidden episodes. And of course, if you want to learn more or get a qualification on some of the subjects we've covered today, then head over to We Teach Streaming Institute at weteach.stream to enroll in an easy-to-follow course that's just right for you. We've also added a share your opinion link in the description so you can earn free shopping points for leaving a video review. Yeah, we love video reviews. See you next time.